We go inside to meteorologist Hannah Ronner.
Thanks, Frank. So we're first going to begin with the timeline of Hurricane Ian. So before it was ever a major hurricane, it did have to start out as a very small, weak cluster of thunderstorms. The National Hurricane Center, before it even became a tropical depression, the National Hurricane Center was monitoring the area 4 days prior. And at that time, it was actually located over here to the east of the Windward Islands, eventually crossing them. And once it got in this general area, that's when it first got labeled Tropical Depression number 9. So it was the 9th one of the 2022 hurricane season. And just a couple hours after that, because this is on September 23rd, just a couple hours later, it automatically becomes Tropical Storm Ian. And it's going to last like this for just a couple of days, slowly moving to the west, eventually to the northwest. As it approached Cuba, that's when it finally decided to strengthen and organize just a little bit. It was about 300 miles to the south of the west coast of Cuba, became a Category 1. And just within this very small distance, here to here, 300 miles or so, it rapidly intensifies into a major Category 3 storm, making landfall on the west coast of Cuba, the first landfall of 3. Winds were 125 miles per hour. And even though this terrain over this portion of Cuba was fairly mountainous, it really didn't weaken the storm. It progressed towards Florida, still strengthening, reaching Category 4 status, making its second landfall just a little bit to the south of Punta Gorda, Florida, crossing Florida, of course weakening as it does, re-enters the Atlantic as a tropical storm, and then eventually making it to a Category 1 once again before making landfall just a little to the south of Georgetown, South Carolina. So for the impacts of Florida, sustained winds 150 miles per hour at landfall, 15 feet of storm surge, and torrential rainfall over 20 inches, leading to historic river flooding all across the peninsula. And then, of course, for South Carolina, we had damage to our piers and severe beach erosion as well. Sustained winds were 85 miles per hour. We had 3 to 6 feet of surge, and luckily Ian was a little bit faster moving in and out, produced less than 6 inches of rain. So not a huge rainmaker in comparison to what Hurricane Florence did, but still a major storm